for the first time in Martech, let's say, history, we're able to have more of the word composable comes up quite a lot, right? You're able to sort of puzzle your architecture and your components in a way that you couldn't do before. It was more focused on marketing clouds, and they're still here, but there are sort of replacements, and you can sort of rip out and replace. But with that ripping out and replacing, you need an understanding, a sort of a strategy on why you're doing this. I mean, the Ferrari in the garage that we always, people talk about, that you buy, two expensive things and you use only 50% of it. It's still happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think the composable aspect of it is very interesting as well, and something that I think more and more marketing managers and CMOs will understand moving forward. So that one is also sort of giving a depth to the whole Martech industry.
Yeah. I was just about to ask you a question about composable, so you beat me to it. So I think the composable vision is, personally, I think it's super interesting because I think it's all about, you had this fight between best of breed versus best of suite, where you have the best of suite players like an Oracle or Adobe saying, hey, buy everything from us, it's going to work fine. Yeah. And the other player is saying, no, just buy only the product that you need, and then you connect it. And both of those approaches actually have their value. I mean, the best of suite is really that it's supposed to work together, so less hassle for you, but it's more expensive. And the other one, you need to put it together, but it might be cheaper, and you always get like the latest, greatest technology. And I think the composable is really actually bring those things together, allowing to actually make your best of breed work together and being able to actually connect things together.
Definitely.
In an easier way, which has been always the promise from the IT departments forever. Is that composable topic something that you are discussing a lot with your customers currently? Is that...
I would say all the time, even though they might not use the word composable, but they are, you have a single source of truth that you are sort of leaning into all the time. We see Google Analytics sometimes being that single source, even though now with the sort of discussions in the EU on the privacy compliant sort of aspects of it, clients are looking into sort of, is this the right setup for us? Which I think they should do as well. But then also there's the maturity of marketing professionals is sort of improving a lot, and people are asking the right questions. But then the complexity, on the other hand, is also sort of increasing quite a bit. But like composable, for us, we usually look at when we move into Martech projects, it's about the people, the process, the tech, and the data. Clients think that the technology will solve everything, but without sort of people to run it or understand it or own it, then it's not going to happen. And then, like I mentioned about the data, if that's poorly formatted or just not useful, then it's not going to work either. And then processes, you need ways of working around independently. If it's a best of suite or best of breed or whatever you buy, you need sort of a process around it, and so there's quite a lot of things that needs to be in the right place, and no company is the same as it's everyone is uniquely sort of positioned in a context where they might need much more help on the people side, or on the tech side if they need to upgrade, or on the sort of just the way they work. It's not that easy always. But I think it's the understanding that you are able to switch and replace is it's also an improved dimension of the whole Martech landscape.
Yeah. Now you see much more movement, and I agree with you on the maturity on client side and the level of technical ability of marketeers is really impressive. So just seeing the marketeer as someone as just being a party planner and just working with an agency to roll out an ad, yeah, it's 40 years ago. It's
Yeah,
ages ago. Yeah,
definitely. And I mean,
yeah,
with 25% of the marketing budget being spent on tech,
yeah,
sometimes more than you spend on your staff, then
yeah,
you need to be a more savvy and a sophisticated buyer, because you're
yeah,
buying tech platforms, right? So
yeah,
the job many times is about both translating between the IT department and the actual marketing department. And
hmm
that is also the role for consultants like us, for instance, that comes in and sort of making sure that both sides understand expectations, limitations, and sort of the outcome of this project.
Digital Explained to My Mom is a show from No Stress Media. To learn more about our shows, please visit nostress.media, where you can sign up and be alerted whenever we have a new episode. I'm inviting you also to check Let's Talk About CX, our podcast where we discuss all things CX related with practitioners, authors, and thought leaders. Check the show notes for a link to the podcast. Thank you.